It's December. You're sitting in your performance review. Your manager is flipping through notes, nodding vaguely, and you realize they've forgotten half of what you did this year. That feature you shipped in March? Gone. The client crisis you solved in June? Vanished. 9 months of work, compressed into whatever they remember from the last few weeks. Welcome to Career Cheat Codes. Today, the simple document that makes sure your best work never disappears when it matters most. Here's something nobody tells you about promotions. The best performer doesn't always win. The most memorable performer does, and those are rarely the same person. Your manager is juggling 5 to 10 direct reports. They've got their own deliverables, their own boss, their own fires to put out. Your March win? It's competing with hundreds of other memories. So when review season hits, when your promotion is on the line, they're working from fuzzy impressions and whatever happened last month. That's not bias. That's just how memory works. But here's the thing, you can change that, not by working harder, by documenting smarter. Let's talk about what's actually happening during your performance review. Your manager walks in with maybe 15 minutes of prep time. They'd skimmed your self-assessment. They've got a vague sense of how you've been doing. And then they're supposed to make a decision that affects your salary, your title, your entire career trajectory, based on impressions, feelings, whatever bubbles up first. Psychologists call this recency bias. We remember what happened last. The project you nailed 3 weeks ago feels more real than the one you crushed 9 months back, even if the older one was bigger. And it gets worse. Some work is just more visible than others. A flashy presentation gets remembered. The 3 weeks of debugging that made the product stable? Invisible. That mentor session with the junior developer? Nobody saw it. The process improvement that saved 20 hours a week? No ribbon-cutting ceremony for that. It just happened. Julia Evans, a software engineer who wrote the definitive guide on this, puts it bluntly. Your boss is managing 5 to 10 people and their own deliverables. They're not tracking your wins. If you don't document them, she says, they won't remember them during performance reviews, not because they don't care, because they're human. And humans forget. Here's what that means for you. The responsibility for remembering your work? It's yours, not your manager's, not yours. Yours. This is where the brag document comes in. It's exactly what it sounds like, a running record of everything you've accomplished, updated regularly, ready to deploy when it matters. And before you cringe at the name, yeah, it sounds awkward. Bragging feels uncomfortable, but here's the reframe that changed everything for me. You're not bragging to your manager. You're equipping your manager. You're giving them the ammunition they need to fight for you in rooms you're not in. Because promotions don't happen in your one-on-one. They happen in calibration meetings, budget discussions, conversations between your manager and their manager, places where your name is one of many. Managing up, keeping your manager informed about your progress, equips them with the insights they need to advocate for you when those decisions are being made. Think of your brag document as a highlight reel. Not everything you did, just the stuff that moved the needle. The projects that shipped, the problems that got solved, the skills you built. The secret to brag documents isn't writing once a year. It's updating every week so you never forget wins. 10 minutes max. That's all it takes to make sure nothing slips through the cracks. Here's what you might consider doing today. Open a new document. Any format works. Google Doc, Notion, even a simple text file. Just somewhere you can add to easily. Create 5 sections: projects, impact metrics, collaboration, skills developed, and positive feedback received. That's your framework. That's your starting point. Effective brag document entries follow a formula. What you did, plus why it mattered, plus the measurable result. All 3, every time. So instead of writing "worked on performance optimization," try this. Reduced page load time by 40%, improving conversion rate by 3%. See the difference? One is a task. One is an outcome. The strong action verb matters too. Not helped with or was involved in, led, shipped, reduced, built, designed, saved. Words that show ownership. And here's something you might not have thought about. Your brag document isn't just for reviews, it's also insurance against manager changes. If you get a new manager 3 months before an important review, you can share your brag doc to bring them up to speed. Instant credibility. No starting from zero. When that happens, new manager, new director, anyone new in your reporting chain, consider proactively sharing your brag document in your first one-on-one. Frame it like this. I put together a summary of my work over the past year to help you get up to speed. Happy to walk through anything that would be useful. That's it. Helpful, not pushy. Now let's talk about timing. When should you actually share this thing? Review season is obvious, but there are other moments that matter. Before any conversation about promotions, raises, or role changes, send it ahead. Give your manager time to read it before you're in the room together. And here's the framing that works. I put together a summary of my work this year to make your review prep easier. Happy to walk through anything. You're not bragging, you're being helpful. Because here's the truth. It's frustrating to have done something really important and later realize you didn't get rewarded for it, just because the people making the decision didn't understand or remember what you did. That frustration, it's not because you weren't good enough. It's because you played by the wrong rules. You assumed great work speaks for itself. It doesn't. Great work needs a spokesperson, and that spokesperson has to be you. Not because your manager is bad at their job, but because you're the only one who was there for all of it. So let's get practical. Here's what a strong brag document entry actually looks like. Let me walk you through an example. March 2026, led migration of payment processing system to new API, coordinated across 3 teams over 8 weeks. Result, reduced transaction failures by 62%, saving approximately $400,000 annually. See the structure? Timing, action with ownership, scope and complexity, and then the result, in numbers. That's the formula. That's what makes it memorable and defensible. Now let me tell you about someone who used this exact approach. Her name's Priya. She'd been in her role for 18 months. Reviews were glowing. Salary hadn't moved. Same story you've heard before. Same story you might be living right now. Great performer. Invisible in the moments that mattered. She started a brag document in January. Every Friday, 10 minutes. Just the wins, the numbers, the impact. By October, she had 43 entries. When review season came, she didn't walk in hoping her manager would remember. She walked in with receipts. Every project, every outcome, every number. She shared the document with her manager a week before the review. Framed it exactly how we discussed, making his job easier, not pushing for attention. The result? Her manager went into the calibration meeting armed. He knew exactly what to say. He had the data to back it up. She got the promotion. And a 12% raise. If she'd asked for the range first, if she'd walked in empty-handed, she'd probably still be waiting, still hoping someone would notice. Still being told, maybe next cycle. If this is resonating with you, consider subscribing. We cover strategies like this every week. Now let's talk about what happens when you don't have a brag document. The rejection email arrives at 4:12 p.m. on a Friday. We've decided to move forward with another candidate. You close the laptop. You wonder what went wrong. Here's what you don't know. The person who got the job had a weaker resume. They didn't have more experience. They had a better system for proving their value. You were competing with documentation, not talent. Some argue brag documents feel awkward, self-promotional, cringy. I get it, but here's the counter-argument that matters. Your work doesn't speak for itself. It never has. Every promotion, every raise, every opportunity, someone had to advocate for you. The only question is whether that advocate has good information. So give them good information, make it easy, make it complete, make it impossible for them to forget what you brought to the table. Here's your action item for this week. Set a recurring 10-minute calendar block. Every Friday, call it Wins Update, then actually use it. Just 10 minutes, every week. For the rest of your career. Start today. Open the doc. Add one win from this week, even if it's small. Then add one more next Friday, and the Friday after that. Momentum builds evidence. And when review season comes, when your promotion is on the line, when your raise is being decided, you won't be scrambling to remember. You'll have 43 entries. You'll have receipts. That's your cheat code for the week. Your boss can't remember your wins, but you can. Document them. Update them. Use them. Your career depends on it. I'm your host. This is Career Cheat Codes. If that brag document example was useful, a like helps more people find us. Now get out there and start documenting. See you next week. Same time, same place, different cheat code.